Good morning and welcome to the show. Before we begin, apologies because today is also one of those out and about episode recordings. I'm still at the Situation Room providing media coverage for the Situation Room, and they're monitoring the compilation of results for the gubernatorial elections in Nigeria. So I had some free time and I figured let me step aside and make this podcast recording. Now, this one is going to be a case study. It's based on some email outreach that I have received recently, and I think I'm going to keep doing more of these teardowns where I take people's communication outreach and I take it apart just for the benefit of listeners here who are trying to improve their email game and try to improve how they can grow their sales from behind the keyboard, because not everybody is a pick up the phone person like me, or let's go visit the potential customer like I am. So I'd rather go on the internet, do some research, get a phone number, try to call the person, and take the thing from there. So I admit some of you keyboard people, and anyway, so this is just a teardown for the benefit of you keyboard people. And hope I'm going to be able to use this as a case study to show why the ideal customer profile or the target customer base is really, really important, and how that should guide us at every stage of the business. And if we have all these rudimentary things locked down, then they make all our marketing communications a lot easier. Whether we're doing sales, talking to people one to one, picking up the phone, going to the office, sending out emails, advertising on TV or the radio, advertising over Facebook, some of these things are fundamentals, rudimentary, and we need to have all these things locked down so that we can be much more successful in business. So now, with that out of the way, let me just go ahead and read the email that I received a couple of days ago. Now, it starts off this way. Hello, sales for the Nigerian business person. And yes, that is how that was the actual intro. Hello, sales for the Nigerian business person. My name is ABCXYZ. I'm not mentioning the person's name. Okay, so hello, sales for the Nigerian business person. My name is XYZ. I am a design engineer working in sustainability and ESG by developing kiosks for small businesses using containers and developing automated security kiosk systems to help improve security and safety. I would like the opportunity to speak about my work on the sales for the Nigerian business person. I look forward to meeting you. Best wishes, XYZ. And then there's a document attached that says podcast pitch, PDF. Okay, now remember, I said I'm going to use this as an example to show why the ICP, ideal customer base, target market, target customer profile, what else, customer avatar. This idea is called different things depending on which consultant you're speaking to or which industry spokesperson you're speaking with. It's called different things, but it's all the same. And the idea is this: I have a product or a service, I'm about to approach the market. Who do I think is the main person that I should be running after? Because for most people, no matter the product, for most people, the correct answer isn't actually be chasing everybody. Because even people who sell water are not chasing everybody. So people who sell pure water, yes, they might be chasing everybody in a sense. But if you're in Lagos or in Abuja, you notice that people who sell pure water are usually in places that have heavy traffic out in the open heat. They are not going to cool, calm, residential, residential development spaces to try and shout at people in their living rooms to come out and buy pure water. They're going to the public parks. They're hitting the highways. They're hitting public thoroughfares, that sort of thing. So even the person who sells pure water, and yes, you can say everybody drinks water, even that person has an ideal customer profile in mind, a target customer base, and the person is acting accordingly. And even for those people who sell Seaway drinking water, yes, it's water, and everybody needs water. But even they also have a target base in mind. They're thinking we want people who are in their homes and people who are in office complexes to have nice chilled water, and those are the people that they are marketing to. They are marketing to distributors who have access to that market base, and that guides their marketing, their advertising, and their sales efforts accordingly. And that is something that everybody should do. even if you are this individual who is sending out an email, when you're reaching out to people because you want to be on someone's show, and I guess the reasoning is that all publicity is good publicity, but there's no point in getting publicity through a channel that ties you into the wrong customer base. So this show is obviously about sales, because we're trying to help people up their game in business. We're trying to up their sales technique, up their sales theory, sales practice. So that's the focus of the show. This show has nothing to do about sustainability, ESG, what else? What's it called? The United Nations Sustainable Climate Goals and blah, 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 and all of that, and security. Those are not things that we discuss over here on the podcast. So, from the get, it's obviously a wrong match. Okay, maybe not wrong. Wrong is too poor a word, because I tell most of my students that there's no such thing as a good answer or a bad answer when it comes to sales and marketing. We just have the most appropriate answer and the least appropriate answer. So the most appropriate thing to do in this case, if you are in the ESG and sustainability space, and you're worried about Millennium Development Goals and climate change and all of those sorts of things, perhaps this sort of podcast is not the one that you should have most appropriately reached out to. So this is the least appropriate course of action. And I think that that's one thing that the person got wrong from the get. And I tried to direct them accordingly. And of course, they said they had done that. And I was glad to hear that. And we left that, a conversation at that. And I wish this individual good luck in their hustle. Because from one business person to another, you have your hustle that you're trying to promote. And because of that, because I have this gospel of sales at the back of my heart that I'm trying to push forward, I have love for anyone who is actually taking a chance on outreach, trying to do something to put the message out there in the world, whether it's behind the keyboard or whether it's going to go and meet a person. So, if you're going to be doing this kind of outreach, email, DMs, Twitter, what else? Instagram, TikTok, people in their TikTok inboxes, then you had better give some hard and fast thought to who your ideal audience is. And the goal is to try and meet them where they are. So like the people who sell water, if you sell Seaway, those portable drinking water things, you're trying to meet people in their homes or in their offices. So your targeting, your advertising, your sales is built around that. If you sell pure water, on the other hand, and you're walking around with those basins at the bottom of your on top of your head, the goal is to look for public thoroughfares, public avenues, lots of foot traffic, lots of heat, catch people who are parched, and people who just want a low an inexpensive solution to their thirst right now. So this is what should guide all our marketing efforts. Let's see what else. Okay, so apart from the ideal customer profile being off, a mistake that the person made, which we should not be making in 2023, is this. He started off the email by saying, "Hello, sales for the Nigerian business person." Now, in the previous podcast where we spoke about digital quotient and how that helps improve our sales, for those of you who are listening to the podcast for the first time, once you're done listening to this episode, just look for anything that has digital quotient in the title. And any podcast episode here, just use your podcast player and you get more details on that. You'll remember that one of the ways that tech can improve our sales efforts is because of the amount of research and personalization that can be done using tech. So back in the old days, especially in the Nigerian context, you wouldn't have much of an option if you're going to send out this kind of email or letter. Okay, let's say letter, because back then, email, because in the early days of email, we still didn't have social media and not so many avenues to research people. You wouldn't have a point, you wouldn't have a choice but to just send out something that says hello sales for the Nigerian business person, or all of those messages that say to whom it may concern, those sorts of things, very general stuff. You wouldn't have much of a choice. But now, with LinkedIn, with Facebook, with the internet, with Google, it's possible for you to look up sales for the Nigerian business person and to at least find the name of the person who is the podcaster on the show. Perhaps it might not be a bad idea to actually play one or two episodes of the show and see if the person announces his name in the intro. Most podcasters do that. I don't. But there are lots of things that the person could have done to research to find out who is this person that I'm sending this email to, and then properly tailor it to the person, because it could also affect the manner, the tone, the words that we use when we reach out to people. So if you are reaching out to podcasters, I think it actually makes a difference if, first of all, you find somebody who's on point. So the person podcasts on ESG, sustainability issues. And then I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you're reaching out to a podcast host who is a 60-year-old woman, the words, the verbiage, the tone of the outreach is going to be a lot different than you reach out to a podcast host who is an 18-year-old guy. Yeah, an 18-year-old guy. Yeah, they'll be, at least in this part of the world anyway, the words that you use and the approach will be a whole lot different. So we should afford ourselves of these opportunities. You're going to be reaching out to people cold over email or what have you, or send out letters. Go use Instagram, use LinkedIn, use Google. Find out who are the people, the names, the faces behind these businesses, and then tailor the outreach immediately. Accordingly. So it might have been different if this thing said, "Hello, Tavishima. I am blah blah blah. I listen to the show. I love episode this and episode that. My business is tied in directly to this, and I think that there's room for us to." Enrich our mutual audiences by exploring 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. Are you open to such a discussion? It would have been a different. The response could have been different. So let's use the internet, social media, all these things that we have today to make our sales pitches much more tailored. Because if it's much more tailored, then the chances that we're going to be effective with the outreach are a lot higher. So that's the tear down that I'm going to do for today. I'm not going to bother rewriting it because I think this is off script right from the beginning. But yeah, so that's it. Those are the two main lessons for from today's tear down. Number one, use the internet. Do some research. You shouldn't be sending out messaging that starts off with to whom it may concern and those kinds of broad headings. So, to whom it may concern, that worked 30 years ago because you actually didn't know who you were reaching. If you were reaching a man, a woman, somebody young, somebody old, or whatever. But now, a quick Google search, checking Instagram, checking LinkedIn, you know exactly who it is that you are sending a message out to. At the very least, if you use LinkedIn and Google, you should be able to say, "Good morning, sir. Good afternoon, madam. Hello, bros," or whatever it is that you think is the most appropriate greeting for the context. And then the second thing, your ICP, the target base, ideal customer profile, customer avatar, what else? Whatever it is that people call it in whatever industry. You want to be thinking, who's my chief customer? Where do they hang out? And then you reach out accordingly. So if you're into sustainable development goals and stuff like that, you shouldn't be reaching out to people to be on their show if the show is about marketing or about sales, except if you've come up with something really cool about how marketing techniques can be used in the sustainability space and then things like that. And yeah, in that case, then that would have made sense. I would have had him up on the show so that you can see how there's a link between both of those businesses in the sustainability world. Because like you have people like Chevron, Total, all these companies using marketing methods to try and show that they are not extractive companies anymore, but they're becoming very active in the sustainability space. So if he was a communication specialist trying to show how marketing and messaging techniques in the sustainability space can be used by business people in general, then that might have been a good idea. So that's it. That's the result of the teardown for today. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I'll catch you guys at the next podcast episode. Don't forget the sales clinic launching on the 27th of March, and so that's about 8 days to go. Reach out if you are interested for more details.